All right, good morning or afternoon or whatever it is. I'm going to try to do a quick reading from the book about Saint Phanarius the Great. Holy and Glorious Great Martyr Phanarius, the newly revealed Life, Miracles, and Supplementary Canon, Volumes 1 and 2. I've got 3 free books of these to give away. I'll occasionally ask multiple choice questions about his life, and then you can answer it. And if you get it, the first one to answer it right, we'll get a free book. I'll send it to you. All right. In pursuit of a puffin. Excuse me. All right. This is I'm going to read this verbatim. Dear mothers and sisters, in our family we have had many, many instances of finding things sometimes in rather unlikely places. Shortly after praying to St. Phanarius for help, none of our stories have been really dramatic. Nothing like catching a fish and finding a lost ring inside it, for example. But these small miracles have happened too many times for us to shrug them off as mere coincidence. I'm recounting below a couple of recent instances in which St. Phanarius helped us in pursuit of a puffin. All right, so now I'm paraphrasing because I don't want to violate copyrights. So these 2 young daughters and the mother were winding up a visit to an aquarium in Boston. My dad took me there. I've been there. So she stopped at the ATM to get some more money in the lobby, and she was putting her cash away, and the 2-year-old took off into the gift shop and tried to take a large stuffed puffin. I quickly intervened and took it back and put it on the shelf, and we left the aquarium. On our way back through Quincy Market, several blocks from there, the girls asked for some cookies at Miss Field's. She went to pay for the cookies and couldn't find her wallet. She walked and retraced the way she'd come from the aquarium, praying to St. Phanarius. While she did so, there wasn't a lot of cash in the wallet, but it did have, all of her personal stuff, her wallet, her ID, and her bank card and stuff. The lady at the front desk of the aquarium said no one had turned anything in. She went to the ATM and then looked in the trash can next to the ATM, and there it was, on top of all the other garbage. And anybody who looked in there would have seen it. There was no lid on it. Everything was in there, including the cash. She guesses that she just accidentally set it on the edge and it fell in when she went to get her daughter from the shop. It's still a small miracle because they walked several blocks to Quincy Market and back. It seemed unlikely. This is another story. This is from Roslindale, Massachusetts. One of the lawyers that this lady works for needed a videotape to be reviewed in connection with a case. And there was a lot of videotapes on this case. I kept them all in a box. When I went to get the video, it wasn't in the box. And I looked all over the office and in the filing cabinet, checked with other people around there. No one knew where it was. My boss is a nice person, but it was going to be a major issue if I didn't find that video. After looking in all the obvious places, I prayed to St. Phanarius. Suddenly the thought came to me to look in the space between the back of my printer and the edge around my desk. Sometimes a piece of paper would go down there, but it seemed unlikely that a videotape could have fallen down that crack. However, there it was. Could have been mere coincidence that I thought to look there, but After asking St. Phanarius for help, I believe that he helped me. Two-handed ringing experiences. This one is from a woman in California, Pomona, California. I've been there too. There's a church there. St. Phanarius has helped me and my family many times. Two times were really important. One was I lost my engagement ring. At St. Sophia Cathedral in Los Angeles. On the way, I noticed that my hands were dry. So I took off my diamond engagement ring and pearl ring and put them in my lap and put on a bunch of lotion. And as we got into the parking lot at church, it was parked right up front by the door. My husband was in a hurry to get inside and do some things he had to get done. And he said he'd meet me later at the reception. I was distracted, got out of the car, walked by the fountain in front of the cathedral on my way inside. And as usual, it was surrounded by a bunch of Mexican families with small children who were running around and playing in the water. As the wedding ceremony went on, I realized that my rings were gone. So I went back out of the church and back to the car and looked all over the place. Couldn't find it. Looked under the car. Started to panic. My husband got that engagement ring when he was a student, and he didn't have any money, so he worked extremely hard, and it was a big sacrifice for him to buy that ring for me. And to lose it made me feel horrible. A neighbor who saw me leave, who was also at the wedding and saw me leave, found me out at the car, and she helped me look for it. And then her husband came out and helped too, and he removed the car seat and checked under it. Couldn't find anything. Went back into the church for the wedding, spent the rest of the service praying to St. Phanarius, and promised to bake him a cake. After the service, my friend's husband went into the sanctuary and told the clergy about the lost rings and asked them to announce it at the reception. And my husband immediately knew it was my rings that were missing and promised to make the announcement. And after that, my friend went around asking people. It was announced at the reception, and a woman approached me and asked if I was the person that lost the rings, and how I would know and how she would know they were my rings. And I was surprised and said, "Why would I lie?" The woman said, "I found your rings. You are very lucky that I noticed something was by your car. When my husband and I were crossing the parking lot, I saw you get out of your car and drop something. And I told my husband I saw you drop something. I went to see what it was, and there were your rings." So immediately I thanked St. Phanarius and was very grateful. And I baked St. Phanarius a cake. But I hadn't yet learned my lesson. And many years later, I was clipping my toes. Oh, clipping my toes. That's funny. Clipping my roses. Totally different image there. The telephone was ringing, and my husband said, sorry, I'm baking a Phanarius cake right now, so I don't want to leave it burning. I'm trying to hurry. So my husband said he and our son were going to get something to eat and asked if I wanted to bring our daughters to meet with them, and I agreed. So we took off, and I was driving, and I'd scratched my hands when I was clipping the roses. So I took off my ring and put some lotion on. Before I got to the freeway, I stopped at a gas station in town and gassed the car. And then I drove for a while, and I put my hand on the up to shield my eyes from the sun, and I realized my ring wasn't there. And then I got the chills and started shaking. Realized I probably lost him at the gas station. My daughters reasoned with me that they're not going to be there because that place is really busy. I started crying and praying to St. Phanarius. I got to the gas station. It was even busier than when we had been there. There was a big truck parked at the pump that I'd used. But I still kept crying and praying, God help me, St. Phanarius, help me. And then I looked around the ground near the truck, and my daughter urged me to give up. She told me to forget it. I told her I just needed to wait until the owner of the truck came and moved it so I could look. And the young man heard us and asked me if I had lost a ring, and I said, yeah. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the ring. The minute I pulled up, I noticed something shining and got out to see what it was. I was overjoyed. Thank you so much. I've been praying all the way here. Let me pay you for your gas or something, or give you something for this. But the man refused. He said, last week I just got paid and I went to a 7-Eleven to buy something, left my wallet with all my identification and cash in it. Little man found it, called me, said he wouldn't even take $1 from me. My landlord only accepts cash and my rent was in that wallet. I know what it means to lose something. When I insisted, he said, I heard you praying when you were on the ground. So please light a candle for me and pray for me. My name is John. The lady was near, tried to change John's mind. Are you crazy? Are you going to give her that ring? I'd keep it. Now thank you to our dear Savior and St. Phanarius for letting an honest person like John find it instead of that greedy woman. For those who want to know, I now keep my ring in a safe place and only wear it on special occasions. That's a great story. So that lady's from Pomona, California. All right. Pray for me, a sinner. God bless. And try to answer the questions on the multiple choice questions, and I'll send you a private message and I'll send you the book for free. Okay? God bless. Over and out.